And a good Wednesday morning, Quad Cities. It is 9 o'clock here on this Wednesday, September 24th. Welcome in to Ask Andrew Live. I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzke.
I'm weather anchor Peter Warner. It's been so long, Andrew.
It's been a hot minute. We've all been so busy. We've had vacation fill in and help with Des Moines, and there's been a lot going on. So, yeah, this is kind of a rare opportunity. You get two brains to pick this morning.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Do you remember the phone number?
309-304-0888.
He got it. Yeah, he's so good.
Oh, I don't know.
You are so good. Yes, that is how you text your question to us. That's the best way to get it here, by the way. We're also streaming, simulcasting on our Facebook page. So if you're joining us there, you can put it in the chat. Otherwise, go ahead and text that question to us. So that's how this works. This is a half an hour. It's really the only half-hour show in the Quad Cities dedicated to just talking about weather.
Yes, and especially on a weekly basis, too.
Yeah.
You don't get that anywhere else.
Every single week, as long as you don't have any big tech issues, we are going to be here for you. We've got a lot to talk about today, even though we don't have a lot of weather going on.
True.
It's been so darn quiet around here.
It's been kind of boring, almost in a way for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had those chances Monday, and then we've been watching what could have been an active pattern, but it's just missing us, it feels like, every time.
Yeah, it was quite disappointing. I mean, we had multiple days where we had the chance of getting at least some nice, widespread soaking rains, and it just didn't materialize like we were hoping.
I know.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll get there someday. And I say that because there's not much in the future to talk about in terms of rain.
No.
So we're going to highlight that. We're also going to highlight why it's been that we just can't hang on to these cool fall-like air masses that try to work their way in. It seems they're here for maybe 2-3 days, and then we're right back into summer. And that's actually the pattern we're going to see ourselves get into here later this week into the weekend. So stick with us. We're going to get to your questions, too. We always leave about 10-15 minutes at the end that will rapid-fire answer those questions. So anything weather-related, go ahead and get it in the chat, and we will take it from there. Got a couple of good questions we had this week, too, and a lot of them were fall-centered. Because, you know, astronomical fall started this week, I figure, why not make that the theme? So we talked about a lot of things. Yeah, I love fall. It's a beautiful season, number one, but we finally get a break from that heat.
Do we, though?
Well, not this year. This year being the exception. So we're going to review those questions. We had one about why do the leaves change color to begin with? What is it that kind of triggers that response from trees? And then the other one was the smell of fall.
Smell of?
Yeah.
Never heard of that before.
There's a distinct fall-like scent.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to call it an odor because it's not unpleasant to smell.
Yes.
But yeah, you can smell it. There is an actual scent during the fall season.
And it's not pumpkin candles that everyone's lighting.
No, it's not everyone, doing their Yankee candles at home or their Bath and Body Works stuff. Yeah, so we'll dig into that too. But as usual, what we start off with is our little weather discussion. And I call it little today because there's not much to talk about. There's no storms to track, no fog, nothing like that. We've actually had a really decent start to our morning so far. This morning actually felt more like fall because we finally got rid of a cold front that settled to the south of us. It's been quite a while since we've been able to talk about something like that. We actually did have a couple of isolated showers on the radar this morning, right south of Princeton and Bureau County and then in Knox County, but all fell apart. Yep, all gone. So that front, that low pressure system will continue to scoot to the south. We still have quite a few clouds to get through here this morning, but look at all of the dry air to the north, all of the cloud-free skies. That eventually moves in our direction. And with that northeast wind, I tell you what, today is going to be, honestly, I think the best day weather-wise that we're going to have this week.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Some nice cooling and maybe a little bit breezy as well.
And that's something we haven't seen a whole lot of either, the wind. So this day is where I really want you to take advantage to get the windows open because you have wind to actually push it into your space. And we're only getting up to 76 today. Now, I know for some folks, that still might warrant some air conditioning. But if you're in the shade, honestly, this is the sweet spot.
This is perfect.
Yeah, this is going to be gorgeous. I'm really impressed where we go tonight, by the way.
Where are we going tonight now?
Check this out. These overnight lows. I have a feeling when we wake up tomorrow morning, and I'm going to shout out Sterling Rock Falls, Galesburg, Clinton, probably Macomb and Burlington, the usual cool spots we see every morning. 40s possibly, maybe.
I booked a tea time tomorrow morning, Andrew.
Ooh, you got your jacket?
I'm going to say, my goodness, I'm going to need my jacket. I thought Well, this was again on Saturday. 'Cause the
Yeah.
data gets a little bit more closer to what it will actually be as we get closer. But I was seeing like, maybe 55, 60. I'm like, oh, that's a great start to the morning. You'll be just fine.
Yeah. A little cooler
Wow.
now. So make sure you have your jacket.
Ooh.
Otherwise, that's going to be really nice. And it doesn't surprisingly knock our temperatures down much for tomorrow either. I'm still going about 77, 78 tomorrow. So even tomorrow's a nice day. The only difference is, I think today being the 76, I always think of what's the perfect temperature in your mind. 76.
Sorry, I had to make
oh,
sure I
that's
got
okay. You're fine.
graphic in there.
But yeah, I think today is really the piece de resistance, if you will, of our forecast this
It's
week.
going to be fantastic.
That looks really, really nice.
And really, I would say the overall forecast isn't bad per se.
No, it's really not. It's just a lot of us, myself included, I love summer, but we're ready to move on.
Really?
We're ready for the cooler days. You're not ready?
See, I'm
Peter's
totally
not ready.
good. I'm good with these 80s all year long. That's what I'm used to anyway.
So maybe it's Peter that's been conjuring up all of
Just a
this
little
heat.
bit, yeah.
Okay.
Just setting up all these ridges and stuff that are just never gonna seem to fade.
Now we know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I see how this works now.
I made a deal with James.
Speaking of deal, we're going to talk about that in a second because I want to
yes.
hear about this and see if this is really going to happen. Because what's going to happen, as you can see, obviously the warmth is going to come back in, and you'll feel that by Friday. But what was new this morning, and I'm continuing to look at guidance, and one of the things you have to think about this time of year is what's the state of the ground? Is it full of water or is it drying out?
Nice and dry.
It's drying out. So what I had to do this morning is I had to increase temperatures again for the weekend, and I've now gone 88 for Sunday and Monday. And there is the possibility, the National Weather Service even talked about this morning, that on Monday, we may hit or surpass 90 degrees
Oh no.
in the afternoon. And a little birdie told me there was a little bet that was made.
I actually was discussing this in the afternoon
Yes.
editorial on Monday.
So tell us what that was.
Well, a certain someone said that we may be done with 90s for the year. I'm not going to
Okay.
call names, but it might be a certain someone who I also just said I made a deal with about maybe making a deal with our 10 p.m. producer that we're not going to be seeing 90s again this year. And if
Yes.
said person was wrong about that, they have to shave their head.
That is quite a bet. That is a huge bet.
That's a confidence bet.
Yes. And we may not do this if we get
No.
more clouds or if we get a little bit more moisture than we're expecting, because those winds are out of the south. You can still get a little moisture. So we may not hit 90, but we're going to be darn close. And if I were this person, I'm kind of nervous for them right now
I am
for
too.
early next week.
How will they follow through with it?
Yeah, that's the next question.
Really put like a bald cap on air for like a day, just as like a.
I think it still counts if you do that.
It'd be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they did make the deal, right?
That's right.
At least for the 10 p.m.
That's what I heard. So yeah, I would, at this point, I would even take the bald cap, especially if you go on air with the bald cap. It's a noticeable change.
Yes.
It looks different. I
Yes.
accept that.
I'd
You don't want to
accept
go the
that.
full way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would never make a deal shaving my head of all things. Yeah,
A lot of courage.
it is.
So a testament. I don't have that much courage, but this person does. This person has a lot of courage. So we'll see what happens early next week. Again, we have some time. This could change, but it certainly looks like it's going to get very toasty. We could also challenge some record highs next week. If we hit 90 or above, that would be a
Are
possibility.
those highs right around, I'm guessing, 89, 90, 91 type?
Yep, getting this late in the season. Don't forget, we just did mid-90s. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still possible that we hit 90. You know,
Very
the sun
possible with this year.
hasn't killed itself off that much yet.
No, and with these types of patterns we're seeing due to the tropics.
Exactly. And that's one of the things we want to talk about is why are we seeing so much darn heat lately? And before, it was because of a pattern that I know you've talked about. I know James has talked about. It's called an omega block. Well, that's exactly what we're going to get ourselves into again next week. But the difference is this omega block is going to be a little bit more influenced by what's going on in the tropics. So this week, you know, the jet stream has been fairly flat. It's been more of a northwest flow pattern, which is why we've gotten all these storm systems. But next week, you notice the jet stream once again goes way, way up to the north, while we have two areas of low pressure, one to the west, one to the east, and we're kind of stuck in the hot zone. Now, if this were in July, we'd be well into the 90s.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, especially given the dry soil. We could be approaching 100 degrees if it was in July. But we're in August. The sun is a little more tame this time of year. Its energy is going down. And instead, we're going to get near 90, it looks like, for a time next week.
Still going to be hot, though. And I think I'd rather have this than a cutoff low situation like we had last week.
Yes.
Because that's much less fun to kind of deal with on a daily basis.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So that's what brought all those chances for storms. They're very difficult to forecast. Model guidance got really messed up there. Not messed up, but it's harder to forecast that.
Very
So that's why we had those chances, just never materialized. But this is going to be a much more mild condition, I guess, here for us here.
Yeah, this is a little bit easier to forecast. We know that dry signal is going to be there. Now, eventually, yes, this is going to have to break down, and we will see some showers and storms. And it looks like that may happen in the tail end of week number 2, because these types of patterns, once they're established, it's hard to get them to break down. But this is going to be the setup for next week. Now, what's going to be interesting is, as Peter said, the tropics are heating up, and I'm going to show you what's going on with that here. And what I want you to do is take a mental snapshot of what's going on with the jet stream here off the southeast coast, and how this could potentially influence the movement of some of these tropical systems. So as I pull those up, and the ground is shaking here, so forgive us because they're doing construction.
They're doing outside, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
They're pounding the pavement. I think that's a 2.4 on the Richter scale that's happening right now. So if something falls, don't be alarmed. We're just fine. They're doing some construction over there. Our first major hurricane of the season, though.
Gabriel.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Picked up quick, too, which was surprising. Good news is it's not looking to make landfall anywhere, right?
No, this is a fish storm right now. Now, eventually, it will head into parts of England. You know, that area of the continent could bring up some good winds over there, but it's not really going to impact us here, which is some good news. But if you look at the extended forecast, what the National Hurricane Center is going to be looking at, this is what they're tracking right now, and this is some big stuff here. We've got very high probability of development in not one area, but 2 areas. You've got the one near Peter there, which is likely to become, I think it's Humberto is the next name.
Yeah, Humberto.
Yeah, that's the next name on the list. And then you've got another one here near the Dominican Republic, just to the northwest of Guadalupe, which is likely going to become another named system, probably both by the weekend.
I would say so.
If you look at the probability of development on both, they're very high.
Yeah.
80% next 7 days for this one, 90% next 7 days on the other one.
And their paths, I think, are towards much more populated areas this time, especially this one. That's kind of what, near Guadalupe. Is that Guadalupe? Yes.
Yep.
And the DR right there.
Yep.
That could be interesting for anyone in the Keys or out in the Caribbean right there.
Yes, it's going to really heat up. So what's going to happen is, as you can see, these tracks take them to the northwest. But what happens is all that energy puts the brakes on the weather pattern, and it really holds it in place. And those brakes will probably be applied by this weekend.
Yep.
So that means the weather we see this weekend is the weather we're going to be stuck with, quote unquote, for nearly all of next week until these systems clear themselves up. It will be interesting because I told you to take that mental snapshot of that jet stream.
Yep.
Can that jet stream keep these things out to sea as we go into the weekend?
That's what's going to be interesting.
Because I think that will probably be the case. But if you noticed the jet stream and how it was in relation to the Gulf, it's really not there. So if we were to get 1 or 2 of these things to go into the Gulf, it's kind of got an open highway to lift itself right northward. There's nothing steering it in the opposite direction. So I think that's where you're going to have to really focus your attention probably in the next couple of weeks, is if we get something to develop in the Gulf. Probably not so much these guys, they'll probably go back out to sea.
No.
But still, notice how this path is getting awfully close to Florida.
Yep.
So it's something you still have to watch.
Yeah. And that jet can get, even if, again, this is rare, but with some of these stronger systems, they can kind of just force that jet to move itself too.
That's right. They can have a mind of their own, and if it's strong enough, yep, it can alter the jet stream, push it further to the north, and then you're talking about Carolinas. You're talking about Florida being in trouble by the weekend. So nothing's set in stone there, but it's kind of been an interesting hurricane season that we've waited so long to pick up on the activity. Seems like it's taken forever.
I was going to say, I was looking at it yesterday. I was like, it's a little bit late this year. Normally, I would say about, August, mid-August, we start to see at least some more activity. And we were forecasted to have, I think it was 16, 17 named storms this year.
Yes.
And we're only at 7 with about a month or so to go, give or take. So a little behind schedule.
We are very much behind schedule. And it appears it may be one of those hurricane seasons that's what we call backloaded. And that, not much happening on the front side, but once we get to the back side of hurricane season, which we're getting on now, you can see the line there, and this is the typically number of named storms and their intensity. Climatologically speaking, we're still kind of high there, You can see things kind of toned down. That doesn't mean you can't get a blockbuster ending to the season, though.
No.
It'll still be something.
I feel like, and we had one of those blockbuster ends even just last year. Felt like almost every week we were tracking a tropical storm.
Yeah.
At least.
Kind of a bookend season, if you will. So we'll keep an eye on that, but that is why, at least in the near term, we're going to be going back into this omega block pattern and why we're going to be seeing these dry conditions. Don't get me wrong. I know it's kind of a nuisance if you have a lawn care business because you're not going to be busy likely in the next week or two, but this is great timing for farmers.
Yes.
There should be no issue not getting that harvested in the next 2 weeks.
I was going to say, we've already seen plenty of harvesting already this year, too. It's been early.
Yeah, really early. And I think, remember back to the spring, we got the 80s early, we got the 70s early. That really got the farmers in the fields super early.
Got them going soon. And all the rain.
All the rain, the heat, really helped. So this is going to be a pretty good year for them, I have a feeling, unless they're dealing with that. Is it tar spot or there's some kind of bacteria or something, fungus that's going on? Yeah, Haley Bigelhaupt has done some really great coverage with that. If you missed it, just head to WQAD.com.
Oh, yeah.
She's also got her Ag on 8 segments. They're on the streaming app where you're at right now, so check those out too.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Very well done.
You can easily see what's going on in the farming world, and we appreciate her coverage on that. Very good job she does. Let's see what else we have to talk about. Oh, the 2 questions really quickly that we had this week. So I was talking about the smell of fall. I don't want to call it an odor because, again, it's not an unpleasant odor. It's actually a sweet smell. But the smell of fall is due to, you guessed it, the decomposition of the leaves.
That one makes sense.
As they're falling to the ground. They actually give off some type of gas. Like, I'm not going to say like we do. Every living thing gives off gases. This one, thankfully, is a pleasant smelling gas. And what it actually is interesting. It actually forms into a little bit of ozone.
Oh,
which I didn't know until I researched this. Yeah. So it's not the same level of ozone that's up, hundreds of miles above us. That would kill us. That's too strong.
That's not good.
But it's just enough ozone to put that sweet smell into the air. And ozone does smell very sweet. Yeah, which is kind of weird. It's dangerous for you, but it smells good. So you have all of that combined with the fact that this time of year especially, we can get these temperature inversions, which just act like a lid. It really compresses that smell toward the ground, and you can get a really strong scent of that.
Interesting.
So, Peter, you see maybe in the next several weeks here, probably as we get into October, see if you can smell
I'm going to start looking for
sweetness.
that.
Yeah.
I will say there was something where I would come up to the Midwest a lot in the fall for football games and stuff in Chicagoland, and there was something different about it. That's probably what it was, because we don't get fall leaves in Arizona back home.
That's right, yes.
Seasons don't really exist.
It don't really exist. It's just one season.
Yeah.
Hot. Exactly, yes. So that's why we have that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then just a refresher for folks that are asking, why are leaves changing color? Some trees do it faster than others.
That's true.
Everybody's not on the same cycle. But it's all about the sun cycle. And trees are looking for that decrease in daylight. That is their signal that cooler air is coming. So when that happens, and I didn't put any pause points in this, shame on me. Let's go back. So when that happens, there's a decrease in the chlorophyll, and that's what causes the green color in your leaves. So when that sunlight decreases in the amount of time of sunlight we have each day, you're making less chloroform.
That makes sense.
So you've got less green. So you're losing the green color.
Interesting.
Another interesting thing that I found out is that red leaves in particular kind of act as a warning sign to insects and other things that would normally lay their eggs on them, because that warning, that red hue, is actually telling them, hey, this is not a good spot to do that because this leaf is likely going to detach itself and fall, and there go your eggs.
Really?
It's also not the best thing to eat because what you're looking for, the chloroform, is pretty much gone.
Interesting.
So that was interesting.
That's cool.
That's
and the
nature.
trees themselves trigger this chloroform stopping production, right?
Exactly, yeah. Due to the lack of sun. And then this is kind of cool to look at too. So before it gets too cold, they drop their leaves because what they want to do is they want to form a scab or the leaf attached to the tree. That scab protects the tree branch and the tree itself from the harsh, cold temperatures of winter.
Oh.
So it seals itself off.
It's kind of like that sap.
Yeah.
They kind of just put a rock hard piece of sap on there.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Wow.
I've also had people ask me about exploding trees. Do trees explode in the winter because there's a lot of water in them? And people are thinking freezing expands it.
Yep.
They actually don't. And I learned this from Craig. So the trees actually really shut down their water usage in the fall to dry themselves out so that doesn't happen.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's like, gosh, Mother Nature is so darn smart.
That's impressive.
How does all this even work?
I couldn't even think what to have for breakfast this morning.
It's crazy.
Wow.
They have a mind of their own.
It's true.
Who knew? So now we got some time to answer your questions. And don't let me forget to mention that a lot of my questions that I get for during the week actually come from these live chats.
They do.
We've had some good ones that I really want to do a deeper dive into that I usually can't do on TV. So get those questions in and we'll go ahead and we'll see who we have this morning. I bet we have a joke this morning.
Let me see. I don't know if we have one yet.
Maybe?
Not yet, but my thing's been a little bit glitchy today.
Oh my
so
goodness.
That could be on me.
Okay.
That could be on me. But Leno says good morning. Allie says, do you think it's going to be a bad winter?
So all signs right now, it really depends on your definition of bad. Is your definition of bad like some really, really cold temperatures and quite a bit of snow? If that's your definition, we're leaning that way. Not only are we watching La Nina, and I don't know if you've seen this, Peter, but there is a huge, huge blob of really warm water off the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And yeah, anytime that happens, you get these really cold shots of air that get displaced from Alaska, the North Pole. That is a telltale sign of where we're going for this winter. So if you're a fan of cold and snow, I think you're going to like this upcoming winter season. Sorry.
Really? Oh.
Give me a call if you need to go somewhere, though.
Yeah.
I got four-wheel drive. I can get you there.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I'll personal driver service. I'll just pay you.
Yeah. I accept food.
Really? I'm going to be cooking a lot because I can drive in this. Oh, my goodness.
It's going to be fun. It'll be fun.
It is. Chris was wondering, where's the best location to put a small weather station? And he's, say hello to James. We'll pass those hellos along.
Is that Mr. Chris Bishop?
Yes, it is.
All right. So if you got a weather station, which congratulations, first of all, that's awesome. You've entered true weather geekdom.
That's true.
Once you get a weather station of your own. So the best place to put it is you want to be roughly 5 to 6 feet off the ground because that's where we are. That's where weather lives. I also want to make sure you stay away from really dark objects. Like if you have dark siding in your apartment or your house, stay away from that.
Yes.
Preferably in a grassy area. Stay away from concrete. All of those factors, other than grass, can really influence the temperature.
Yeah.
So just get somewhere out in the open that you can, best you can.
That's true. And in the sun or away from the sun?
Well, if your weather station has a radiation shield built into it, it kind of looks like stacked discs, you can put it in the sun.
Yes.
No problem. If it doesn't, it has to be in the shade.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sunshine can impact those temperatures.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
If you want to drop what model you got, I'm kind of curious. I can look it up and tell you. But yeah,
true.
you can drop it in the chat and let me know.
Yeah.
I just won't give any endorsements. I can't do that.
Unless they pay you.
Exactly. I can't say like, yeah, that's the best one ever. Good job. No.
He's open for NIL deals. You need some NIL deals.
Right.
Leno was wondering, the trees, especially the maples, are starting to turn up here. Is that a sign of cold weather coming? Plus, will we see any severe weather from tropical storms or hurricanes? So we just talked about the trees.
Yep.
Because she asked that before. She knows what's coming. She always does.
Yes. Leno's a good friend of ours. She's in our chat quite often up there in Elizabeth and in Davis County. Too early to tell about any severe weather prospects right now. I don't think we're done. We were just talking about this the other day that we think we have at least one more event that we're going to have to go through before the end of the year.
Yes.
So we don't think we're done by any stretch of the imagination. We think we're most likely done with the most active part of the year for sure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's behind us. But yeah, we're likely due for one more severe weather event. It's probably going to be a squall line as it typically is this time of year with strong winds. Nothing in the near term with that, but we can keep an eye on it. In terms of the hurricane thing, we really need something in the Gulf. That's what we're going to be watching.
Yes. I remember last year it could have impacted us. We had a couple storms that kind of the little spaghettis threw them up here for a while.
Yeah.
But did it pan out per se, but it was interesting.
That would be the ideal situation for us, especially if it's after harvest. You get some good rains out of those, and that could really help us out.
Help the ground, help that drought. Because we're entering drought season.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Caitlin from Walnut was wondering, are typhoons the same as a hurricane with the same wind speeds?
Yes, they are the same. They're just named differently.
Named differently.
All because, of course, of where they are sourced from. So typhoons, those are going to occur way, way off to the west or way off to the east, depending on how you're looking at the globe. But the Pacific, at least the eastern Pacific,
Yes.
the Atlantic, we name them hurricanes. If you go way into the western Pacific, that's when you're dealing with typhoons.
And cyclones out there as well.
Yep.
It's all technically considered cyclonic area of pressure that it forms around. So.
And they get some really strong ones in the western Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
There's some monsters.
Out in the Indian Ocean out there, too, especially. They get those typhoons. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yes. They're dealing with one actually right now. I remember we talked about it on the newscast last night.
Right, yeah, we had that this morning.
Right. It was, oof. No bueno.
Reporter was out there. She got a little seawater in her face, and like, oh, that's not fun.
No fun at all.
Don't count me in on that.
Stephen and Moline asked, the thunder was intense the other night, but the system wasn't severe otherwise. What's happening when the thunder is so tense, but nothing else happens?
Sure. So why the thunder was so intense is we likely had what's called an inversion, and we talked about that a few minutes ago. It's a layer of warm air that is just above the ground, and it acts as kind of an echo chamber, if you will. The sound waves will actually bounce off of that layer of warm air. And even, I think it was Ava and Devin that mentioned it too on Monday, that was some really deep thunder that we had overnight.
Yep.
And that was likely one of the reasons for it. So the loudness of the thunder is not always a representation of how strong the storm is. Just because of that inversion, that can really play a factor in things.
And these were cold pool developing storms too, which doesn't help when you have just that extra pocket, you could say, really, of cooler air aloft within those warmer layers already.
Exactly.
So it's kind of the perfect recipe.
It is. And it's really cool to hear. I was so disappointed I missed it. Oh, yeah. I heard nothing in Geneseo.
I was up a little bit late, but it was worth it.
It's worth it, yeah.
Totally worth it. Good morning. This is from, want to take a guess who this one's from?
Is it Marcus? Close.
It's another regular.
Another regular. Billy?
Billy.
Ah.
There we go.
Billy from Clinton.
Billy from Clinton. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and we know what that means.
He's got it, yes.
I saw a joke on Facebook from my sister, and I wanted to share. Here's a joke, not the regular joke.
Okay.
Jokester, but we got one from Billy today. The other day, I chased the fog mist.
I chased the fog mist. Oh, I get it now.
That's good.
Oh, that's clever.
I like that one.
That is clever.
His question, what is the probability of the potential storms merging together as one out in the Pacific, I would assume?
So that is something called the Fujiwara effect.
Oh, the Fuji, we talked about that last
Fujiwara, yes. That is a complicated mess. I may have a graphic or two in here, but I'm probably not going to find it in time. It has happened before.
It does.
They don't necessarily merge, but what they do is they pinwheel each other.
Yes.
For the most part. In rare cases, they can combine and come together. This is not going to be like a day after tomorrow type scenario where it's going to open up and the atmosphere is going to pour down 80 below 0 Celsius, air, and everybody's going to freeze to death.
It's going to be a black hole.
Yeah. What they'll likely do is they just kind of dance around each other in their cyclonic flow and all that fun stuff. So it's interesting. I mean, it definitely is something that could happen depending on when they develop and where they move. It's pretty rare, but we'll see.
And if one load deepens much more than the other, it can kind of, almost the other one kind of plays off one.
Yeah.
If we get much deeper pressure, kind of that'll become the dominant one against the other, but absorbing it where?
Exactly. And if you've ever watched a satellite image of a hurricane, I know the vast majority of you have, you notice what we call the venting that goes on out the top of the center of that storm and how wide that venting can stretch beyond the storm. That has another big, huge influence on any nearby storms as well. They can choke them off. It can move them in another direction. So all things we're going to have to watch, I think, heading into the weekend.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But it's heating up. Making our way through
it's that time of year. I think that's all I got question-wise.
Wow, perfect timing again.
I know, look at that.
Dang.
We're good at this. He's good at this, actually. Andrew.
Well,
I just sit here and read questions.
He's good, too. He's great. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, we want to thank you for joining us here this week. Of course, we're going to be back next week. And at some point, we're going to be in a new space next door.
Next door?
Yeah, doing a little fine-tuning of the television sets over there. But we're eventually going to make our way back into the new Studio A.
Well, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're excited about that. So stick with us. We've got more to come. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Don't forget we have GMQC at 11 coming up later this morning. And as always, if you want to watch any other episodes of Ask Andrew Live, right here on the A Plus app.
Always.
All ready to go for you.
Yes. For our Facebook friends, download it on your TV. Watch for free.
Watch for free. Amazon, Roku, and Apple TV. Samsung is coming eventually. We're getting there. We've got a whole new slate of new things coming next year that we're really excited about.
We are.
So we'll talk more about that when we get closer. All right, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you at 11. Have a great day.